What the heck is this rod? It's the Mifine Nano Jig. It comes in an extremely good price, a really high performing rod for the price. I'm gonna take a quick look at it. We're gonna hit the water, catch some fish, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. So let's go. Okay, so this is the Mifine Nano Jig. It comes in both a 1.68 meter and a 1.83 meter. That's what this one is, which is 5'6" or 6 feet in the old. It has a 0.5 grams casting weight and well, it has a 0.5 to 2 grams casting weight, but I've been casting 5 grams on this a little bit and it hasn't been too bad, but not optimal. So I'd say, you know, up to 3 grams would be quite good. It has a 30-ton carbon blank and it is 50 grams. Now both models say 50 grams on the website, but that seemed a bit odd, so I weighed it and this longer version actually came in at 50 grams. So yeah, that's pretty good. It uses Sea Guide branded guides, which I think are more than adequate and are quite nice. And it has a fast action, but it does load up quite well. Anyway, let's have a look at the rod. Obviously, extremely interesting rod, very minimalist, very ultralight design. It looks quite stylish with this Mifine logo there. It looks pretty cool actually, I like it. And just on the butt there has the Mifine logo, just like it had on the microbite aging that we had a look at a little bit earlier. And it has a Fuji reel seat, got the little Fuji logo there, and it tightens up from the top here, and I haven't had any issue with it, you know, coming loose or anything like that. We'll have a look at the blank. Got some, you know, what does it say there? 30-ton carbon, 1.83 meters, 2 section, 0.5 to 2 grams. Weighs, it says 55 grams on here. It says 50 on the website, and it weighs 50, but it says 55. So you're, yeah, selling yourself short. And yeah, Nano Jig, cool little logo there with the casting weight and the length. Comes with a little hook keeper, not terribly interesting. Got a little bit of blue detail here, and you know, looks fine, looks high quality. Then the blank, very thin blank, and it has that textured carbon feeling. We'll go up to here, we'll have a look at the first guide. These sea guides, I think the microbite aging had sea guides as well, but I really like these. I mean, they're very minimalist. I don't know what you call it, like a single foot kind of reel seat. And yeah, they're quite nice looking, minimalist, keeps the weight down. And you know, there's not an excess amount of epoxy or anything like that there. It's all pretty high quality, especially for the price, because this thing comes in under 50 Australian dollars. Both models, yeah, just a pretty incredible price, to be honest. We'll have a look at the tip section. So that just had one guide on there. Tip section has the normal sort of spigot on the bottom section, very thin still got those small guides. They're reasonably small, not the smallest guides I've ever seen, but they're reasonably small. Maybe, you know, a little bit of excess epoxy there, but it's totally nitpicking. We've got our 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th guide. And as you can see there, that tip is extremely thin. I believe it is 0.7 millimeters. So that's really thin. But yeah, casting that 5 gram metal jig was not an issue. Didn't have any sort of hesitations on casting it as hard as I could. Well, you know what I mean, like casting it normally. So yeah, that's been really good. I have fished this rod and we'll see that in the footage coming up. But I do have one thing that sort of, you know, initially looks a bit odd. I think the guide spacing for a fast action rod is maybe a little bit off. If it had one extra guide in this tip section, you know, you see the spacing between the tip, this, you know, 2nd and 3rd guide here. It's quite a bit of space there. I'd like to see an extra guide in this top section here. But apart from that, really good value for money. Really enjoyed using this rod. And let's cut to the fishing clip. All right, check this out. Mifine Nano Jig. This is crazy. Let's use a Nano Jig to catch a fish. It was a hit. Oh, another one, another one. Yep. Here we go. Look at the rod bend. Just a little guy. Little salmon. Yep, another one. The small guy. Yep, a little bit better. Oh, come on. Oh. Yep, there we go. A little, oh man. Another hit. Another hit. Yep, there we go. Yep. Oh, come on. Yeah, it doesn't feel that good. Oh. Yep. There we go. There we go. Yep. Do you want this for bait or anything? It's a little mackerel.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, apparently. Alright, so I've whacked another reel on it. I've whacked on the Mifine Illusion reel, which I have a few issues with. I did a previous video on that. There's a bit of slop in the handle. It's not a screw-in handle. There's a bit of slop there, as you can see. Not the most enjoyable to use. It ticks a lot of other good boxes though. Good value for money, looks sick. Drag and the drag sound, the bail arm, everything ticks a lot of boxes, but unfortunately that's super off-putting. But we have put it on the Nano Jig rod, and that's what we're here to talk about. Gonna have a few casts. I've been casting up to 5 gram metal jigs for mackerel here. And it's overloaded the rod slightly. I mean, it's not totally optimal to cast 5 grams on a 0.5 to 2 gram casting rod, but it's definitely capable. But if that's what you're typically doing, obviously I wouldn't pick this rod. It's more for the 2 gram and under kind of stuff. I've got a 1.5 gram cheb weight on here, plus the plastic. Oh, and there's a bite. There's a bite, first cast. And yeah, I think the rod is great value for money. It's like 48 Australian dollars. You know, in terms of the aesthetics and everything, I'm getting a nibble here. In terms of the aesthetics and everything like that, it ticks all the boxes. In terms of like how comfortable it is, I personally don't mind it. It's not an issue. You know, I hold it just like this. It doesn't bother me. I've probably, you know, fished it maybe for 2 hours stretch at one point, and that was okay. But you know, it's a super lightweight rod. It weighs only 50 grams, so it's not like you're going to get fatigued or anything. Although if you do have sleeves, like some bigger sleeves, a jacket or something like that, I had one on yesterday, and it did get caught up in it a couple of times, because you know, if your sleeve comes out to here, it can get sort of caught up in it. It's not too much of an issue. We're nitpicking there. Sensitivity of the rod is really good. It's better than average at rods at this kind of price point, I would say. It's fast action for sure, but it does pretty much load fully up. But the one gripe I have with this rod, and it's not a deal breaker, but you know, it's something that is, you know, could take it to that next level, and it is the guide spacing. Definitely the top 4 guides around that tip section. If they were, you know, if there was a 5th guide in there somewhere and the spacing was a little bit better, I think that would really, and get another nibble, just working the bottom here would really, you know, take this rod to the next level. But again, for the price, you can't complain. I think it was a bit more expensive when it was released, maybe 6 months ago or more. But right now, 50 Aussie bucks, really good value for money. And yeah, I recommend it. I don't regret buying it at all. I paid my own money for this. This is not a sponsored video. Mifine has never reached out to me, and we got a little one on. I'm just working the bottom with like a 2.5 inch grub and a cheb weight. I'm probably getting little hits by some little fish there. That's what we're running. Just working the bottom, just for something different, because I've been fishing, you know, the top third of the water with this rod for a while and getting some mackerel and some Australian salmon, but thought I'd just mix it up. Maybe working the bottom here, we could get something different, maybe like a gurnard, a pinky, trevally, something like that. That would be nice, just to give the rod a real workout. I think the rod's, you know, definitely capable of bringing in some bigger fish. It's definitely not delicate, especially having casted 5 grams with it and stuff. I don't, you know, when I was casting it, I never had it in the back of my mind like, I'm going to bend it, I'm going to snap it or something like that. Whereas, say the Purelist, although that rod is very sturdy and you can really rip into that one when you're fighting a fish, when I was casting it, I was a bit iffy, maybe because that's a slower action rod and you kind of see the lower end of the blank bend. You know, you kind of puts a little bit of doubt in your mind, but all in all, yeah, I could say this is a great rod. Let's keep fishing. Hopefully we can get something. We might switch to something mid-water. We might just move up a little bit too. Just reload with some scent. Scent definitely makes a difference for sure, especially bottom fishing. When you're fishing faster moving lures, crankbaits, metal jigs, stuff like that, it doesn't really matter because they're sort of biting on reaction, they're chasing the bait. But when you're bottom fishing, you know, when you've got that lure in front of a flathead or something like that, and they're just contemplating whether to take it or not, it definitely helps. And especially if you get one hit and, you know, you strike early or whatever, and they'll go for a second shot, definitely, once they get that taste of the scent. Because, yeah, these scents have like amino acids in them and are, you know, more or less tasty for the fish. So they're definitely recommended. Shimano S Factor especially. Here's it. See if it comes back for a second one. See when I get a hit, yeah it is. There we go, yeah, on. So when I get a hit with the scent, I just leave it there, maybe just give it just a little jiggle, just to try and make it look like it's wounded the lure or something like that. What is this? It's a tiny flathead. Kind of what I expected. And when you're working the bottom, flathead, very common. Hopefully we can get this guy off nice and quickly. Yep, there we go. Something slightly better. See the rod action there. It's no monster. It's a little bit of weight to it. Bigger flatty, or is it something different? Looks like a wrasse. Is it a wrasse? It's a gurnard, I called it. It's, oh man, this will be interesting. Oh God. Oh man. All right, here's the gurnard. They're actually pretty poisonous, these spines. Interesting fish. Check out how big the eyes are on these things. Kind of look like a puppy dog. We'll get him back in the water ASAP. Let's put him on over here. There he goes. If you like this video, go check this video out. I'm sure you're gonna like it. I'll catch you there. And remember, if you want to get the bite, fish light.